Guys, I am at Biblical Bethel here, and this is a place where Jacob had his dream in Genesis 28:12 of the ladder coming down from heaven and angels ascending and descending from that very ladder. But this was also the place where Jeroboam, when the kingdom split in 931 BC, Jeroboam made pagan gods and told the Israelites, "These be your gods, O Israel." And I'd like to point in your direction over here the remains of Jeroboam's temple, where he placed two golden calves. One of the calves he placed at Tel Dan in the north of Israel, in the Galilee area, and the Bible says the other he put right here at Bethel. And so this is the remains of Jeroboam's temple right here. It's circular, and many believe these are the ruins of Jeroboam's temple when the kingdom split during the days of the divided monarchy. So they believe that this was during the first temple period. So the remnants of a large public building, and the dimensions of which match the tabernacle of Moses. The structure faces the direction of Jacob's rock, which would be, now we see where my car is over there. The rock is on the opposite side of that car. The structure faces the direction of Jacob's rock, and again the professor Zeev Vilnai identified it as King Jeroboam's temple, and it was there he built it in Bethel, and no doubt he also put that golden calf there as well. So there it is in that direction there. Surrounded are remnants of an exterior wall, and to the north is a pile of rubble used as an altar. And we know by reading 1 Kings chapter 12 and 28, it says, "And Jeroboam made two golden calves and said to them, 'It is too much for you to go up to Jerusalem. Don't go back to Rehoboam, Solomon's son.' He said, 'Come and follow me.' And the Bible says he put two golden calves. One he put at Bethel, at Tel Dan, and the other one right here at Bethel. So there are the remnants of that right there. I also want you to take a look at this oak tree that's over here. It's a very old oak tree, estimated to be about roughly 1,000 years old. It's an ancient oak tree. They say it's about 1,000 years old. And they said it's the one-of-a-kind oak tree in Israel. It's considered a descendant of an ancient oak tree from the time of the ancient forefathers. Genesis 38 and 8 says, "And Deborah, Rebekah's nursemaid, died, and she was buried beneath Bethel," that's where we are right now, "under an oak tree," the Bible tells us. And it's called the Oak of Tears. The oak tree is surrounded by trees which were preserved at holy sites. The wormwood oak is usually found in mountain regions. So we don't know if that is where Rebekah's nursemaid is buried. We don't know that for sure, but it is a very, very old oak tree. And again, over there would be the remnants of Jeroboam's temple and where he put that golden calf. And I also saw, when I was walking here at Bethel, an underground cave. Now I went down there, but I didn't want to go into it because it really stunk bad, and the ground didn't look too stable. And we know it was probably used as ancient Jewish burial grounds, because the Bible says that they did bury Jews here during the first and possibly even during the second temple period. And so they also have a very impressive look, Jeroboam's lookout tower. That's over here. So you can see some of the remnants over here. And of course, I mean, there are all types of ancient burial caves around here. I mean, there are dozens of ancient Jewish burial caves that surround Jacob's rock. Maybe not from the first temple period, but mostly a lot from the second temple period. Now, when we say second temple period, we're talking about 2,000 years old. And you might have a few that date back to the first temple period. So the burial caves attest to the holiness of the site and it's prominent throughout the generations. And the Jewish people have sought to be buried close to these holy sites. These burial caves are mentioned in the Bible. One of them, 2 Kings 23 and verse number 16, where it says, and Josiah turned and he saw the graves, and that were on the mountain of, well, where we are right now, Bethel, and he sent to take those remains, those bones that were in the graves, probably to take them back to Jerusalem. So the Jewish people back, during the first temple period and the second temple period, wanted to be buried here because they knew that up there was Jacob's rock, where Jacob had that dream in Genesis 28. And of course, when you walk up the steps over here, that is the remains of Jeroboam's ancient wall, tower and wall. It's the ruins of a guard tower and fortification wall from the Israeli kingdom period. These were part of the defense alignment that protected Jeroboam's temple from attacks from the kingdom of Judea. Remember, there was a split within the kingdom, and we call that the divided monarchy. And of course, a newer watchtower was built upon the ruins of the original tower, and of course, that was during the Roman period. So let's just walk up here to this ancient tower. And there it is. Now, of course, this tower went higher than that. But can you imagine, say this tower could have been 100 feet tall. It would have had a commanding view of the kingdom at that time. So if there would have been attacks from, say, the southern kingdom of Judea or Judah or any other foreign country, well, they can see them from far distances. Isn't it? I mean, this is just absolutely amazing. Oh, by the way, I also found a tefillin, or what Jesus called phylacteries. Now, this isn't ancient enough like that. It's an old one, and you can still see the partial scroll that's in there. And you can see the remnants of the Hebrew letter Shin, Shaddai. So it's old, it's busted. I don't know how old it is, but I found it. I've always wanted one of these. These are really expensive to buy in stores. Whoever it belonged to someone, and it's I don't know how old it is, but it's mine now. So we're gonna slowly go back down here from Jeroboam's watchtower. Very slowly. We don't want to get hurt here. So here we are. So, walking down this ancient path here, and you can see how they have the rocks colored white to try to keep you on that path there here at Biblical Bethel. Again, all my times coming to Israel, and I've never been to Bethel. This is our last day here in the Holy Land, and I wanted to make sure that we got to see Shiloh, which we were already there, and then of course Bethel. And I think there's another little path over here, and I know it's getting a little late here, so I'm just gonna quickly walk down here. Absolutely beautiful. Look at that. You ever seen anything like that? Oh, drop my tefillin there. Let's pick that back up. And again, folks, you're looking at ancient ruins here. But wouldn't it be nice to find a coin, a pottery lamp, or something? I mean, how cool would that be? This is it. Bethel, house of God. The closest place to heaven on earth. Where heaven came down to earth. Where Jacob saw that ladder descend. And angels ascended and descended upon him. And Jesus said the same thing in John 1:51. You shall see the Son of Man, the angels ascended and descended upon the Son of Man. How cool is that? Or of course, as they say in Hebrew, Sababa. All right, well, I think that's it for us here in Bethel. I'm blessed to share this to all of our YouTube friends and those on Facebook. That's why I say you need to come to Israel and experience this land at least once in your lifetime. That's why I do these videos, because I want to wet your whistle and encourage you to come to the Holy Land, discover the Jewish roots of your Christian faith, and let the Bible come alive to you like never before. All right, guys. Shalom from Biblical Bethel.